first time I dealt with church hurt, it was at a church where I grew up. And there was this pastor that used this type of language, would often return to a certain type of topic. Had this kind of theme, that would run. That was a little bit offensive to a friend that I had who would frequent this church with me. Frequent as in like, we're in your church almost every week. And like, you'll say these comments and things like that, and they're offensive, man. They're clearly offensive. It's not like, someone would say, oh, I didn't know that would offend. It's like, this is clearly offensive, And my friend would get looks from people, and it's like, my friend kept a cool head the entire time. Never, a whole lot better than Travis Kinley would. So I do, the Christian thing, and Book of Matthew's like, go to them, let them know you're offended. Take a friend with you, take, a couple people with you, let them know you're offended. So I do that. I schedule like a meeting with the pastor, and first I talked to my youth pastor about it. My youth pastor was like, yeah, well, you sound like you're talking about something legit, and you sound like you're trying to, approach it in a very mature and godly manner. Well, I'll go with you, right? So he goes with me, and I go in the room, and I just lay out how I feel, man. And I basically say, this theme that you push through the microphone, I don't say that this is 20, or I'm not 20, I'm 34. This is 34-year-old Travis talking to you now. I basically say this theme that you run through the microphone has nothing to do with Jesus, and it's highly offensive, man. And after I spend minutes, like, trying to respectfully put something on the table, like, I'm coming very respectfully, man. After I spend minutes trying to respectfully put something on the table, literally the only response dude had for me was, well, if you don't like it, you can get out of my church. Nothing else, man. Didn't respond to anything I'd said about like the theme he was talking about. Didn't respond to any of that. Said, if you don't like it, you can get out of my church, man. And then he just looked at me. This is a church, man, this is the only church I ever knew type thing, So to hear that, man, was like, wow, dude. This guy doesn't care about me at all. Like, our relationship is not one that I am able to talk to him about something that seems wrong to me, and that he's able to dialogue with me. Instead, it's just, if you don't like it, you can get out of my church. From that day, I never went back to that church. Not on a Sunday. I think a couple of times I've went to see the youth pastor personally, while he was at his office on a work day or something. That hurt, man. Hurt bad. I was bitter for a really long time. Later on down the road, I went to another church. A church that I didn't even really go to this church. I believe I worked at another church, rather. I worked at another church. A church that was a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I accepted the position. I don't think I did anything wrong in accepting the position. I don't have any regrets. I worked for that church, and things went south. It's kind of like a relationship. After 6 months, you're going to find out, after that honeymoon phase is done. Went to that church, man. Honeymoon phase ended. And man, the pastor flipped the script on me, dude. Started telling me, I shouldn't be preaching, and he never said like the content of what you're preaching about is not sound, or, you know, you're wrong on some things. He just said I shouldn't be preaching, and so on and so on. He'd just argue with me about certain things, man. Just be getting in arguments, raising his voice and everything, you know. I'm trying to be cool or whatever. But he'd just be getting in arguments with me. One time he even told me I'm self-righteous and I'm arrogant, you know, and I think that I know scripture better than everybody around me. I was like, dude, what are you talking about, man? That situation ended with pushing me out, you know, just pushing me out. That's what churches like to do, man. You work in there and things get more than they're able to handle. They push you out, dude. Yeah, I came on here to tell the truth, man. It is what it is. Because indeed, man, you know, I seen the post, man. A lot of people, what we do is we don't tell the truth, you know. Trying to save face, somebody else's face, trying not to hurt people, so on and so on. I said, I feel like telling the truth this morning. That's what churches like to do, man. They push you out, dude. They push you out. They push you out. And then, you know, get up there on Sunday morning and it's like, yeah, we didn't know, but, you know, Travis accepted another position elsewhere, you know. They create a nice little narrative. It makes them look good, like they're victims of Travis leaving. They push you out because the alternative is that, you know, you're fired, and we'll get a narrative for that one too, but they got a narrative for you. So that's what happened with that church. Then I go to this other church, man. And I think this church is great, you know, wonderful. You know, they scream this, they scream grace and Jesus from the mountaintop, man. But then I found out behind closed doors, man, it wasn't like that either. It was not like that, dude. There was so much more condemnation behind the closed door. At least before they pushed me out, I said, you know what? I don't really need this job, dude. I got a job that actually pays my mortgage. I'm just going to walk away from this. Time and time again, dude, I've experienced church hurt. But I tell you, with one situation when I experienced it, my good friend Jock Hendricks, he told me, you know, he basically said, I understand you're bitter, I understand you're hurting, but there's two ways you can respond to this right now, man. You can let the bitterness turn you into a beast, or you can choose to forgive and love. And he told me, if you want to choose to forgive and love, every time you feel angry, every time you feel that bitterness, every time you feel emotional about this person, you need to pray for them. You need to pray for them honestly, earnestly, daily, for their well-being, for their eyes to see truth, for God to soften their heart. You need to, like, honestly pray for them, man. Not pray for them as, you know, a criminal, that they would be prosecuted, you know what I mean? But pray for them as a neighbor that you love. And I did it, man. And indeed, it is still working. It's been years since I started praying for that person. And I still don't have the most pure thoughts and emotions about that person. Years later, man. We're talking years. I don't even know how many. I have to stop and think and count and be, you know, doing math on, you know. It's been years. But I feel and think about that person a lot better today than I did years ago. Church hurt sucks, man. Church hurt sucks. It sucks because we approach church with these expectations that it's going to be a better place than my secular job, or it's going to be a better place than high school. It's going to be a better place than my family. It's going to be a better place than ... But it turns out, it has turned out for me not to be. But I do want to encourage you not to give up on people. Don't give up on people, man. Don't give up on people. Mainly, I have to say that because I feel like the type of guy God should give up on. Just being real, man. But he hasn't. Because of love. He says, people are going to know who you are by the way that you love. Love like me. Look like me. So don't give up on people. The hurt sucks, man. Do like Jock told me, man. Pray. 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 Many times a day. Until your heart softens. And you really just feel love for that person. And care and concern for that person's well-being and their needs. Pray. Pray. Church hurt sucks. But Jesus is still good. You already know what the motto is. Work hard, play hard, sleep hard, find you somebody to love. I love y'all. Don't forget, it is not about what you believe. It is all about why you believe it. Live free.